Pokemon Go might never be the same after what was just leaked. Pokemon Go maker Niantic nears $3.5 billion deal to sell games unit. Here's everything we know. For starters, first things first, this is hearsay, rumors, leaks. All of this could be fake, and this could just be to get clicks on the internet. There's no official information out right now about if Pokemon Go is selling, who they're selling to, what's going on. We just have a leak from what is apparently a trusted source. I will say I also have friends who are like trusted sources who are kind of close to this situation, and they say it's legit too. Not to be the guy that's like, I know people. But what I'm trying to kind of say here is that it's sounding like this is real. You know, I don't want to be too like tinfoil hatty with the conspiracies today, but this looks pretty real. So today I'm going to talk about everything that we know, not only about this potential deal that's happening, but the impact that it's been having on Pokemon Go that we can already see and feel, who they might be selling to, what that company is all about, and how that company might change the game that is Pokemon Go 9 years in. So for starters, what is happening? What all do we know about the situation? Literally the only thing that we know, the only thing that anyone knows, is that apparently Niantic is in talks with this game company called Scopely about selling the entire games unit of Niantic for $3.5 billion. Now, if you are an executive at Niantic or you own equity in Niantic, this is a huge win because Niantic is a mobile game, or it's a technology company who's made bazillions of dollars in profit and is about to sell a portion of the company for $3.5 billion and still keep the rest of the company. That's like a dream scenario as a company. Like, this is crazy for them. But what does that mean for us, the gamers, the players? We'll talk about that. But here's why I think this is happening. So Pokemon Go, we've all noticed, especially over the last like 6 months, the game has gotten really, I mean, the game's always been pretty pay to win, let's be honest, but the game's gotten really, really microtransaction-y, very spendy. Each and every event that comes to Pokemon Go always has 1 to 2 to sometimes 3 tickets that you can pay for extra stuff in game. A lot of events, new Pokemon releases, new shiny releases have all been paywalled behind eggs or raids, or you have to pay for a field research or a special research. It's been so pay heavy in Pokemon Go lately. And personally, I've been pretty turned off of the game. Like I didn't even log in to try to hunt a lot of the last events. This weekend is Unova Tour. By the way, I will not be at Unova Tour on the first couple of days, but I will be there Sunday. So come out and look for me and say hi. So the game's been very spendy, right? And for Niantic, it would make sense for them to sell Pokemon Go and their entire games unit, because you have to think about who Niantic is. Niantic is not a video game development studio in the traditional sense, right? They're a technology company, and they develop technology. When you listen to any of the higher-ups talk, or John Hankey talk, who's the CEO, they talk about their AR, they talk about their light ship, they talk about their mapping. That's what they're interested in. They're interested in AR technology. This company was founded by ex-Google people who did I think location-based stuff or data stuff. This is not a gaming studio. So for them to sell off their gaming side, which is for sure the hardest part of their entire company, make a bunch of money doing that, and then be able to retain the rest of their assets and focus on what they really care about, which is like AR and mapping and stuff like that. It makes a lot of sense from Niantic's perspective, which is why I think this is going to go through, and why I think this is real, and why I think this makes sense. Because if I was Niantic, like, would you do the same thing, right? If you're a company that, like, I mean, you care about your players, maybe, kind of, maybe not, but like you care more about like your company's mission, which is like AR, technology, the future of technology, like you're gonna focus on that, you know? So to sell off games, it makes sense, which is why I think this whole thing makes sense. Now, what does that mean for Pokemon Go? And who's potentially buying it? Let's talk quickly about the impact on Pokemon Go, because I think we've already been seeing it. Again, as I already talked about, the last like couple of months have been very spend heavy, which is kind of ironic because in 2022, right? 2021, 22, my timeline right now. Remote raids, we'll just talk about this once today. Remote raids were the biggest cash cow in Pokemon Go history. It made them so much money, and it was fun to use. They took remote raids away. It destroyed the game's revenue, general revenue, which did end up coming back up. So maybe it didn't do that big of a difference, but it made a huge impact. And to bring the revenue back up, they released new features. They did new stuff. They had way more ticketed events, and something that we've been seeing over the last couple of months, which has happened the first time this has happened in forever, since the remote raids were nerfed. They've started bringing back unlimited remote raid usage on select weekends and events. They're bringing remote, like that's a pretty big indicator of something's changing. I think we all hoped that Niantic just kind of realized like, hey, maybe players really like remote raids and we should let them do it because well, it worked the last time. But no, I think what was happening here is they're starting to bring remote raids back because remote raids make them so much money. And what you want to do as a company when you're going to go sell is you want to fluff your value, which basically means make your company look and seem as valuable as possible so that when you sell it, you get as much money as possible. The last 6+ months, we've had so many more microtransactions. We've had more remote raids. We've had more paid events. We've had more paywalled new Pokemon and new releases. And by doing that, Niantic is upping player spend. They're creating more revenue coming out of Pokemon Go and therefore making their games unit way more valuable in preparation for a sale. So I think we've already been seeing the impact of this potential sale in Pokemon Go. We've been living it. We've been paying for it. And I have a feeling that's not going away because when we look at the company who's potentially purchasing the entire games unit of Niantic, including Pokemon Go, it might be bad news for all of us, or good news. So the company is called Scopely, and they're a very, infamous company because they own some of the biggest and best mobile games in mobile gaming history, like Monopoly Go, Stumble Guys, Marvel Strike Force, and a handful of other big games. So this is a company that's very versed in large-scale mobile games, and freemium great games, which are games that you play for free, but there's a bunch of microtransactions, which is what makes the money. So this is a company that does this at scale with a ton of different IPs and different games, and they do it well. Do it well in the sense of a lot of these games have big player bases and they make a lot of money. But the problem in what everyone's talking about is when you look at how Scopely implements monetization into the video games that they own, it's really aggressive and really predatory, and it really makes the experience just all about spending money. And Pokemon Go is already like that, and that's what we're all concerned about. But we'll talk about that again in a second. I want to focus more on Scopely and its parent companies, because this is where it gets a little interesting. So Scopely is the one who's going to buy Pokemon Go potentially. They own all of these other mobile games. They monetize the absolute heck out of them. And Scopely is owned by who is called the Savvy Group. Savvy Games Group, rather. Savvy Games Group bought Scopely for $4.9 billion. A bunch of years back. And that's because Scopely owns and develops a bunch of major mobile gaming titles. It's a huge mobile gaming company. And the interesting thing is you got Scopely, you've got Savvy Group who owns Scopely, and Savvy Group is 100% owned by the Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund. This is the government of Saudi Arabia, and their whole initiative with Savvy Games Group is to basically diversify their economy and diversify the Saudi Arabia economy with different investments. So this is their investment into the world of gaming, is the Savvy Games Group. And Scopely is the mobile gaming side of Saudi Arabia's investment into the gaming world. In a way, Pokemon Go potentially might just be getting purchased by Saudi Arabia in an attempt to expand Saudi Arabia's economy and diversify the revenue that the country is bringing in, which is kind of crazy. Also kind of crazy though, Niantic, I'm sure I don't know if this was ever confirmed, but they have a lot of location data that they might have been working with the government on. I don't know if that was confirmed, but there was a lot going around about that. So Pokemon Go is kind of a weird game. So that is interesting. And where it gets even more interesting is looking at who else the Savvy Games Group owns or has some sort of equity stake in. Other gaming companies, including EA, Take-Two Interactive, Activision Blizzard, Embracer Group, Nintendo. Savvy Games apparently owns about 5% of Nintendo. And obviously they bought all of Scopely, who potentially might buy all of Pokemon Go. It's kind of funny when you look at big business, just everyone kind of owns little pieces of each other, and it's just this big ball of wealth. Okay, so stay with me. Scopely is buying Pokemon Go. Savvy Games Group owns Scopely. Saudi Arabia, the country, owns Savvy Games Group. Savvy Games Group owns pieces and shares of pretty much every other major gaming development studio except for Tencent. Tencent, by the way, they're I think they're a Chinese-based humongous company. They own Supercell, parts of Supercell, so Clash of Clans and Clash Royale. So that's the other major mogul in the mobile gaming space. It's Savvy Games Group and Tencent. So Pokemon Go, Savvy Games Group. And a big thing that a lot of people are saying is the Pokemon Company and Nintendo, they own Pokemon Go as well. That's their IP too. Surely they have a say if Niantic can sell the rights to it off, and surely they block this sale, right? Yeah, but when you look at it, Savvy Games Group owns parts of Nintendo. So it makes perfect sense for Pokemon Go to be sold to Savvy. And it makes way more sense for Pokemon Go to be sold to Savvy Games Group than it does to Tencent. All this to say, I don't think the Pokemon Company and Nintendo are going to block the sale of Pokemon Go because it's being sold to a company that owns part of Nintendo. Like, they all own each other. You know, like, it's like, again, further going into the whole thing of like, this makes sense. Like, this deal, this sale, this thing happening, it makes sense. Which is crazy, bro. So that's Scopely, that's Pokemon Go, Savvy Games Group. Like, that's kind of the background on everything. And again, just the tough part with Scopely is just how they choose to go about monetizing their games and working their games. I feel like Monopoly Go, a lot of people kind of vibe with, which is great IP. It's like a fun enough game. But a lot of their other games, there's a lot of complaints about like, the games are buggy, the games like don't have great support, the games are super pay to win and like extremely aggressively monetized. And that leads me now into the next part of the video where I want to talk about what do I think this is going to do to Pokemon Go? Because ultimately, like, that's kind of what we all care about, right? Because at the end of the day, like, who cares who owns Pokemon Go, right? Like, it doesn't really affect the day-to-day gameplay. Or does it? We just care about what are the people who own Pokemon Go gonna do with the game. Because we're gonna assume that the sale is happening from here on out in the video. If this happens, this could maybe be a great thing for Pokemon Go, right? Because like if you think about Niantic and the decisions they've made since COVID, they made some great decisions for the game in COVID. It literally saved the game, it revived it, it was fantastic. And ever since 2021, it seems like every major decision for the game has been a bad one. I mean, think remote raid pass nerf, think the radius changes and spawn point changes, think the avatar update, think the AR scanning stuff. It's like everything that they put in the game, like completely disregarded anything and everything the players wanted. They disregarded all feedback. Like it's been a really rough couple years for Pokemon Go because of Niantic, right? So maybe Niantic's selling Pokemon Go off to another company who is a little bit more focused on the game and less focused on like AR technology might make the game a better game. So we'll start this with the positive note of like, there could be good things here. Also, Savvy Games Group, the owners, they also own, I think, ESL Gaming. They basically own like some big esports stuff. And Pokemon Go is like sort of dipping around in esports. Obviously, it's now at the Pokemon World Championships, and it's like one of the more viewed championship events, which is like really cool. So this could be cool. Like we could actually see like way more esports funding into the world of Pokemon Go. Think like prize pools, think leaderboards in game. Like we could really see Pokemon Go PvP like actually do something because of new ownership who actually cares about that. Because it doesn't seem like Niantic really cares that much about like the PvP battle scene. You know, like if you're a PvPer or a competitive player, you've probably felt that. So this new company theoretically could really change that thing. Also, there's just a bunch of features. I'm sure they would roll back the avatar update if this is a Saudi company. I'm sure that there's be a lot of changes in game that would either happen immediately or subtly over time. This doesn't have to be a bad thing. This could be good for the game. And things like remote raid passes, even though obviously they were very expensive to use, even when they were like at their original price, they made the game a lot of money and people loved them, dude. Like loved them, you know? So like if they brought that back, maybe that happens because it's such a cash generator. Like, why would you not bring remote raids back? And if this new company, Savvy Games Group, like doesn't really care about like AR or mapping the world, and maybe not, maybe they care about it, but not nearly as much as Niantic, the game might not be optimized around that anymore. You know, like the game might be optimized around like actually doing things that are fun, you know, because like no one cares about scanning for like extra poffins. Like that's not fun. So like maybe there's more, you know what I'm saying? So like this could be a good thing. Now let's talk about the reasons why it could be a bad thing. Niantic, although we have a lot of criticism about them, they were pretty good stewards of Pokemon Go over the years. Like they really poured a lot into it. They made the game. If you look at the game in 2016 versus now, granted that's 9 years of development and like bazillions of dollars, but the game's a much better game. It's more fun. There's events everywhere. Like all over the world. Like they did a really good job with the in-person events. I think they did a fantastic job with that. I've never seen another gaming company do that. You know what I'm saying? Like they did that really well. And I think they did a great job of like cultivating community out in the world. Like they did a wonderful job of that. They were good stewards of the Pokemon Go community, I think, in a lot of ways. Now, if Savvy, I'm just gonna say Savvy Games Group, Savvy Games. If Savvy Games or what the heck is their name? Scopely. If Scopely takes this over, you gotta imagine if they're gonna buy this for $3.5 billion, right? They're buying this not because it's a fun game, they're buying this as an investment, right? They want Pokemon Go to make money. Pokemon Go generates anywhere between, I think, $600 million to like $900 million a year in revenue, right? That's revenue, not profit. I don't know, nobody knows what their profit margins are, but like these are microtransactions. They have really big teams. Like, I don't know, maybe let's assume like if they make, I'm so guessing here, but like if they make 700 million in revenue, let's say 300 million is profit. Does that seem fair? Anybody in tech, let me know in the comments below. Does that seem fair? So let's just say average $700 million in revenue, average $300 million in profit. At that rate, it would take 11, 12 years at $300 million in profit per year to recoup their investment? You know, granted, obviously Niantic owns other games like Ingress, but like, let's be real, Pokemon Go is like the big cash cow. So if there's like an average of 300, all these numbers could be wrong, by the way, completely wrong. But like, I'm guessing. If there's an average of $300 million in profit a year, it's gonna take them 12 years to recoup their initial investment. 12 years on a game that is 9 years old is a bad investment. Like, that doesn't seem smart, you know? So the problem here with Scopely is that they are good at monetizing games aggressively. It maybe doesn't make a good game or a very fun experience, but I'm sure they make a ton of money and a ton of profit from these games that they own and monetize super aggressively. And Pokemon Go is such an easy game to monetize aggressively because of the way that it is. You know, you pay money, premium events and raids and exclusive shinies. Like, it's so easy to monetize this game and to aggressively monetize it. Niantic's already doing it and has been doing it for years. So for Scopely to take Pokemon Go over, they're not going to buy this game if they assume it's going to make less profit over time, right? Or if they assume they can't make it make more profit. That would be a weird investment. So if they do buy this, this is the fear that everybody has, they most likely will try to monetize the game harder than it's currently being monetized now in order to recoup their investment and then become profitable on the investment. So what does that mean for the game? It means potentially more microtransactions. It means maybe more expensive events. It means more paid events. Maybe there's like new paywalls of like, if you want to catch over a certain amount of Pokemon in a day, you have to like pay 1,000 Pokecoins. I'm guessing here, right? But like stuff like that. And I think that is what is on everyone's mind, and that seems like the biggest fear in the community is if Scopely, if the new owners of Pokemon Go monetize it even harder, if it's even more predatory, if it's even more expensive to play, and it just makes the whole thing much less fun and less doable and less realistic for like regular people, right? Like, we don't all have like thousands of dollars we can spend a month on Pokemon Go. So that's the real concern, right? That's the real concern. And again, you know, I'm just trying to go off of things that like make sense to me. Like, it makes sense to me that Niantic would sell their games unit. It makes sense to me that Scopely would be the ones to buy their games unit instead of like Tencent. It makes sense to me that Scopely would try to implement strategies in Pokemon Go, more aggressive strategies in Pokemon Go, to make more money to recoup their investment and eventually profit off of the game. This all makes sense. Who knows if it's actually going to happen? This is all completely theoretical, but it definitely makes sense. Which puts me in an interesting place, and this is kind of the personal side of the video, so if you guys are interested. Pokemon Go for the last 9 years has been my full-time career. Like, a lot of people ask that, like, what do you do for a living? Like, I know you make YouTube videos, but like, what's your job? It is my job. I make money making videos on Pokemon Go. And that's how I pay my bills. That's how I pay for travel. Like, that's how I pay for my life. That's how I paid for all these businesses that I get to now run here, which is like Mystic Rips and Collector's Capital. And it's opened up a lot of doors for me. It's been an insanely fulfilling, creative, exciting, community-filled, beautiful career. I have a new mantra, which is like, pursue your passions. It is literally, the embodiment of pursuing your passions has been my career over the last 9 years with Pokemon Go, right? It has been so fantastic. So if this all really goes bad, right, what this maybe means is like Pokemon Go dying super hard. Like, if it's just super aggressively monetized and everybody quits because it's like, why play when you have to spend so much money? You know what I'm saying? Like this could really spell disaster for Pokemon Go and spell disaster on a personal level, because this is my channel. I could talk about this for my business and like my friends' business, the other YouTubers in the Pokemon Go space. You know, a lot of us are very smart and talented people, but like, you know, all our eggs are in the Pokemon Go basket. Like, we make Pokemon Go videos. The nice thing with YouTube and social media is you can always do something else or make other videos. It's just very hard and expensive and time consuming to pivot. It's really difficult. If you didn't know, 9 years ago, I wasn't making Pokemon Go videos. I was actually making Clash of Clans videos. So shout out to all my White Lighting HWD fans out there. So I did Clash of Clans, and then I stopped making Clash of Clans, and I started making Pokemon Go videos in 2016, and I've been doing it ever since, right? So like, I've transitioned out of a community, out of a niche before. Bro, I don't know what I would do if Pokemon Go really like kicks the can. We're almost at a decade in the game. We got a great community here. The videos are fun. We have a new strategy we're doing with the Mystic 7 YouTube, where we're going to upload less videos at higher quality for like cooler concepts. So like, we're working on that. So like, you know, I hope this all goes well, right? And then on the again, more personal side, this Pokemon Go Mystic 7 YouTube isn't the only thing that I do anymore. I actually started 2 years ago. I started a company called Mystic Rips, which is like a Pokemon card e-commerce company. So, you know, we have like mysticrips.com, where we sell the Shiny Look merch, which, by the way, we sold all the rest of it off in a big live stream on our Whatnot account. So there's no more of this Shiny Look merch anymore. but we are relaunching more Shiny Luck merch, a completely new redesign. Like we're gonna have like monthly drops, new products. It's gonna be like a real clothing line that is super exciting. And this, by the way, clothing merch is like, there's three ways that creators make money. YouTube videos, the views and the advertisements. Merch is like a huge thing, and then brand deals. So like that's how you run a business as a content creator. So merch, I like have really just not really done very on and off over the decade. So we're gonna like hit it really hard, and I'm really excited about it. And the designs are sick, and like it's always fun to like see you guys walk up like repping Shiny Luck, you know. And it makes sense. Shiny Luck, we're all hunting for shinies. Like I love this stuff. Literally perfect. Well, we're relaunching Shiny Luck. But that's a part of the Mystic Rips company, right? The e-commerce company. So like we've got the Shiny Luck merch brand, which I'm really excited about, and I think it's going to do very well, and I think it's very, very cool. And like the designs are going to be so sick. And one more thing, by the way, and this is Mystic Rips related. Mystic Rips and myself will be at Collecticon Los Angeles in a week and a half from now. And Shiny Luck is going to be relaunching exclusively at Collecticon LA for the first time. We're going to be selling the new designs and new hats. Everyone's asking about the hats. Yes, there will be new hats. And it's going to be kind of cool because like, we're going to every Collecticon, Mystic Rips. So if you go to any of the Collecticons throughout the rest of the year for Pokemon cards, Mystic Rips will be there. Look for a booth. Look for the Collector's Capital booth, and Mystic Rips will be there. And we'll be selling exclusive Shiny Luck merch that you can only get at Collecticons. It's like Pokemon GO regional exclusive Pokemon. Like we have like regional exclusive merch, which includes a variant of this exact hat, which was our most popular seller, in a different color that you can only get at the Collecticon events. So kind of cool, you know? I have fun with that stuff. So we're doing that. So that's like kind of a part of the business, right? And then we've got Mystic Rips, which, you know, we like buy, sell, trade Pokemon cards basically. Like we have some like distributors and wholesalers, and we sell online, and we sell like we auction stuff, and we sell on eBay. Like we sell at conventions now. Like it's a whole like Pokemon card thing, which is where like all of my time has been going lately. So I've got that business, and that business has been doing great, and like, you know, we're hiring for that, and some of you might have seen my hiring post on the community section of the YouTube channel. And we got a bunch of amazing applications. We're like interviewing people next week and like bringing more streamers in, and like super cool. So Mystic Rips is doing well and expanding. I launched a new company as well called Collector's Capital, which is like kind of based on the concept of like pursue your passion. Just because I think I've done that very successfully for the past like 15 years, you know, from Clash of Clans YouTube to like content creating around Pokemon Go to content creating around trading cards to creating an e-commerce business around trading cards. Like pursue your passion, you know, like identify what you think is cool, fun, interesting to you, and learn how to make money with it so that you can do it as your job. It's really fun. Yeah, I vouch personally. It allows for a very fulfilling and creative career, which I think is like, I don't know, like that seems like a thing that people want, right? So Collector's Capital, for people that want to have that career and have a passion around Pokemon cards, it's basically like a community of entrepreneurs and people and businesses in the Pokemon card space that want to make Pokemon cards and buy, sell, trading Pokemon cards their business. So we help people with a bunch of like benefits and wholesale stuff, and it's like a really cool program. So we've got that business too. So Pokemon Go is like, it has gone from like my main business, the only thing I'm doing, to one of the many things that I'm doing, or several things, I guess. And all this to say, like I don't know, man. I don't know what's gonna happen with Pokemon Go, but like I definitely am diversifying my business so that if anything does happen to Pokemon Go, I'll be okay, you know, and like we'll keep making videos here on Mystic 7, either they're Pokemon Go videos or whatever. We'll make whatever we want, you know. It's the fun part about YouTube. And then we've got the Mystic Rips store in business, which is like going great and like really fun. Then we got Collector's Capital, which is more of like business to business type stuff. So not that anybody asked for a life update, but that I feel like I haven't given much of any life updates here on the channel. Also, like I'm dating the beautiful Sydney Goodman, and like we have a wonderful life and 3 cats together, and like I don't know, you've probably noticed that like I've been traveling a lot less and going to a lot less events around the world, whereas before I would go to every one of them. I don't know, now I guess like I'm getting a little older, and we've got multiple businesses now that I'm running, and like I need to be here for that. So like, you know, I'm traveling less, like I'm going to less Pokemon Go events. Like I feel further and further detached from like my old Pokemon Go life, which feels like kind of I feel like I'm in a therapy session right now. Like the bittersweet closing of a chapter, I guess you would say, on my life. Not saying that like I'm quitting Pokemon Go or I'm not going to events, because like I'm not quitting Pokemon Go and I'm still going to events. You know, I'm just able to do a lot less of it because I'm doing more than just Pokemon Go now, which I'm kind of glad I did. That feels like a smart decision with this sale of Pokemon Go potentially on the line here, and the future of Pokemon Go kind of up in the air. So that's kind of a personal life update and maybe how I'm personally going about it. Obviously, you're probably a player of Pokemon Go. You don't make money from the game. Like, it's not your business. So like, who cares what happens to it at the end of the day? It's like, you know, it's a really cool thing that we get to like play and enjoy and share with each other. But if it went away, like, no one's gonna die, you know? It would just suck. It would just suck. But for me, it's a little different because it's like a business, you know? So like, there's that. Yeah, so there's your little life update on your boy Mystic 7 and kind of things that I'm up to. Oh, also, I started another channel. It's called Brandon Martin, which is my name. It's like a business channel. So like, it's like another thing that I'm doing, another YouTube channel. And then the Mystic Rips YouTube channel, which is doing great. I'm so excited that we're finding so much success with the Mystic Rips YouTube channel. We do Pokemon card content there, which has been so fun. I love Pokemon cards and like ripping things. My collection's starting to grow again. It's good vibes. And then on Instagram and Twitter, we're starting to post more content around like pursuing your passion and strategies to do that and like how to do that basically and how to change your life kind of stuff. So I don't know, man. Made Pokemon Go content for 9 years relentlessly, thousands of videos, very good videos, might I add. And I personally am starting to expand into content creation, into more spaces, and I don't know, just doing more stuff, talking about more things that are interesting to me. Because again, pursue your passions is the whole freaking shtick here. It's the whole reason why I'm talking to you right now. And I would say like my passions maybe are changing. Maybe are evolving as I grow up. Maybe I have new passions, you know what I'm saying? So I'm exploring those in other places. So if you'd like to keep up with me on those other places, I'll leave everything linked in the description. My Brandon Martin YouTube channel, the Mystic Rips YouTube channel, mysticrips.com, my Instagram and Twitter. So like, feel free to follow me on all those places and just keep up with me there. Cause like, we're gonna keep making Pokemon Go content here on the channel, but if things do change, like, I'm also doing a ton of other things, you know, and they're all very exciting and very fun, including Shiny Luck. So that's cool too. So that's what's going on with Pokemon Go being purchased, and with your boy Mystic 7. Let me know in the comments what you think about all that, and I guess we'll wait and see what happens. I am eating popcorn to this situation. I can't wait to see what happens. I'm so curious. So we will see. I will see many of you at Unova Tour. Can't wait, and I will hopefully see a lot of you at Galacticon Los Angeles in 2 weeks from now, next weekend. Thanks for watching. See you guys in the next one.